Hi everyone, it's Aura again and welcome to my YouTube channel. Sorry I was a little bit MIA for a while, but you know, things happen in life and I got a bit disheartened and demotivated. But here I am again, not with one, but 3 episodes at once. So welcome to my How to Draw a Chibi If You're Not Good at Drawing series. In this series, I'm going to walk you through how I drew my characters for my videos. As you all know, I started my YouTube channel and I started doing my videos, and I thought of adding something that will make things a little bit more fun. So I decided to draw myself as a chibi character, one in the Emirates uniform and one in casuals. And that's how I came up with these two. I mean, why not draw myself as a chibi character? I think you've noticed by now the kind of things that I like. I got a lot of compliments for these two about how cute and good looking they are. So that's what inspired me to do this drawing series. As you can see, these two are a chibi version of myself, especially if you look at the hair. After years and years of chemically straightening my hair, I decided to go back to my natural curls. That's why I'm stuck with half curly and half straight hair right now. And that's why Chibi Aura also looks like that. She'll basically change as I go. So, I'm not a person that's good at drawing. I did a little bit of art in school and I did a bit of animation in uni, but they were nothing like the little skits that I do now. So I wanted to figure out how to draw something that would actually end up looking good. The first thing I did was started gathering resources. I was looking for pictures of chibis out there. I was looking for pictures of eyes, hair, poses, clothes, everything. And then I gathered all of them up and put them in different little folders. And then I was also looking for templates or outlines. That's when I stumbled on to this amazing set of chibi templates that really helped me with my drawings. I will talk to you more about those templates in my next video when we actually start drawing our character. My method for drawing is a little bit like tracing. You can even use this method to draw by hand because you're taking a template and then using that to do your drawings. But I'll be using Adobe Photoshop because I'm quite familiar with that software and it's easy for me to do it. You can even use Adobe Illustrator because I think they have quite similar features. But if you don't have them, I'm not telling you to go and buy Adobe Photoshop now. There's a lot of free drawing software out there that you can use in a similar way. But just in case you want to give Adobe a try, there's a free 30-day trial. So you can download that and you can try on it and see if you like it. So what I'm going to be doing in this episode is show you some of the tools in Photoshop that we're going to be frequently using to do our drawings. So, if you're already familiar with Photoshop, just go to the next episode. And if you're not familiar with Photoshop and you're just starting out, stick with me and let's get straight into it. Alright guys, so here we have our blank canvas in Photoshop. The first tool that I'm going to be talking about is the pen tool, and here is your pen tool right here. This little pen tip like tool. You can also press P, and that's the short key for the pen tool. And up here is the settings for the pen tool. If you click this little drop down menu, you will see one called shape and one called path. I'm going to first talk about what is this path option. So I have that selected. Okay, and now I'm going to start drawing. So as you can see, I am just making lines and drawing and curving when I want to go. And when I come here, you will see that little circle. It's not here now, but it's here because it shows that I'm going to close this path that I just made. So I'm just going to close it. And now you see my path, but there is no other external stroke or anything, it's just a path. There's nothing to indicate a visible line in this path. So if I have this path and I just right click, and you get this menu and you select make selection, press OK, and there we go. We have now our path has turned into a selection. So what if I want to color this selection now? So you can go to your brush tool. Here's my brush tool, or you can press B, and now I start coloring. And now as you can see, no matter how much I go on the outside, I don't have to worry about it because it's just going to paint within my selected area. Okay, so I'm just going to undo that. Let's say you want to color everywhere but your selection. So when you want to do that, what you do is you have your selection, you press Ctrl, Shift and I, and that inverts your selection. You can also go up here to select and press inverse, and that inverts your selection. Let's see what happens now. So now when I want to color, it's the opposite of before. So I'm coloring everywhere but my selection. So now I think you got an idea of how these selections and the path works. If you want to deselect, just press Ctrl D. So that's the path tool. So the path is good to just draw the area that you need and make selection, or if you are drawing a mass. So now let's go to the second option. We have the shape. Okay, so up here you can again see now the settings have changed. There's more settings now. There's something called fill, a stroke. This right here indicates the stroke width that you want, and then there's some more settings that I will explain to you. So here I have no fill right now, that's why it's crossed out, because there's no fill, but I have a stroke, and the width of my stroke is going to be 5. So I'm going to start drawing, and let's see now what happens. So as you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see better. Now you can see that I have a line while I draw. That is because we're drawing a shape now, and that is my stroke. So if I want to change the stroke width, I can go up here and change it. Let's say I want to put 10. You will see that it'll change. And now we can come up here, and I'll just show you. We have some options here. You can select what kind of stroke you want, if you want these little dash ones or dot ones. And here, if you go, you have the align box, and right now it's ticked in the middle. So when I draw, my stroke goes right in the middle. These little dots are called anchor points, and they go right through it. But let's see what happens if I change this. So now I'm going to put it to the first option, which is that when you draw, your stroke will go inside of the line that you're drawing. I'll zoom in a bit more so you can see. So now you can see, yes, your stroke is going inside the line that you're drawing. And if we change this again to the last option, you will see that your stroke is now going outside the line that you're drawing. But usually when I'm drawing my characters or chibis, what I would like to do is just keep it in the middle, keep it like that in the middle. So it just gives me a better idea of what I'm drawing, and draw like that. Okay, so now let's see what happens when I want to put a fill. So I'm going to go there, and I'm going to select this blue color. You can choose any of these colors, or if you want a custom color, you can come here, and from here you can choose whatever color that you want to use. Just go here, go there. It's same for the stroke. If you want to change the color of your stroke, you can always customize it to whichever you need. Also, if you want to select something from outside, let's say you have a photo here and you want to take the color from that. If you see that I remove my mouse pointer from here, and if I start taking it outside, you will see that it changes into this little eyedropper tool. And what that eyedropper tool will do is it can select, if you press it, it can select the colors. So right now you saw this changed into the white that was in the background from the green that it was before. So this eyedropper tool will go around and select whatever color that you want to pick. So I'm just going to go back and change it to this color. All right, and so that'll be our fill. Now let's see what happens when I draw with a fill. Now you see, as I draw, all the areas that are inside are now getting filled with that fill color that we just selected. So that is what we do with a fill. Sometimes when you're drawing, it's really easy to have both a stroke and a fill working together, so you don't have to go and color later. But usually when I'm drawing, I would just like to leave the fill out for now, because I do like my outlines and I like to adjust my outlines later, and sometimes it's a bit hard when you have a fill already in there. But it's totally up to you, but I'm just saying my preference is to go without a fill. By the way guys, to go zoom in, you press Ctrl and plus key in your keyboard, and to zoom out you just press Ctrl and minus key. And if you want to, when you're zoomed in, if you want to move your canvas around, just press the space bar and you can just move your canvas around like this and go to somewhere else that you want to go while you're zoomed in. So now I'm just going to go back to my pen tool, and let's see how we can manipulate the strokes or manipulate the line so that we can achieve curves. So here I am, there's my two dots, point A to point B, my line, my straight line. Now let's say I want to curve it. So what I do is I press and I keep holding and I start dragging. And when you drag it, you can see that I have these two handles and I can manipulate my line in a curve whichever way I want to. So let's just say I want it like that. Now, in order for this line to not carry on to the next line or not affect the next line, what you need to do is you need to remove this handle here. So press Alt key on your keyboard. You'll see that this pointer will change when you come up to the handle now. It's like a little arrowhead. Click that and drag it all the way up here. So that handle now is gone. So next, if I want to draw another line, we can draw it. Again, arrowhead, remove the handle, keep drawing. Arrowhead and remove the handle and keep drawing. So if I don't remove that handle and start drawing, now you'll see that my line is going in funny shapes because the previous handle is affecting my line. It's going on all these wonky little shapes now. You need to remove that previous handle because now this section here from this anchor point to this anchor point has two handles that can control it now. And that's why you need to remove one of those handles so that the next line you create is not affected by it. Okay, so now what if I made a mistake? You can always just press backspace and that will remove that last line, but if you press backspace more, it's just going to remove your whole line. So you just can only do that for just one step. But what if you want to remove more of these anchor points? What if you think like, though, there's too much? So if you come down here, you will see that the pen tool has different options. So if I select this delete anchor point tool, you will see, and if I come up here, you will see that my pen now has a little minus sign. So to say that minus this anchor point. I'll just come out here and show you in a blank bit. I'll go back to my pen tool and just start clicking away a little bit. Okay, now I go back to my delete anchor point tool, and let's say I want to remove this anchor point. So there you see the little minus sign. I press that and that anchor point has vanished, and this has just created the line between this one to this one now. If you have too many anchor points, that's how you remove it. You just go take the delete and anchor point tool and just remove it like that. So in the same way, if you want to add an anchor point, you just go here, get your add anchor point tool, and now when you come up to the line, you can see that there's a little plus sign. You just click on it, and now you see that you have added a new anchor point. So let's say you want to manipulate these handles here out now. You can come up here, and here is your convert point tool. And with that convert point tool, what you do is you can go and change up these handles. You can pull out the handles of each individual anchor point and you can change them. If I want to change this one's here, just go and click on it and just pull it out, drag it out, and then you see now I can change the handles or the shapes, and I can manipulate it according to how I want it. Each anchor point will have different handles. There we go. So if you want to manipulate, it depends on which anchor point you want to manipulate. You can go and drag the handles out. If you want to undo something, you can always press Ctrl Z, and you can keep pressing it however many times, and then it will keep undoing each action that you did. You can also go up here and you will see, if you press here, it says history. You can go up there and let me just zoom out so you will see our whole canvas. And if I go up here, you can remove up to any of the steps that are here. You can't remove it back to the whole original, but just keep in mind when you're clicking this, whatever steps that are in the middle will get removed as well. So if I, let's say, click up to here, you see that that shape that was there has entirely gone. But if I need it back, you can, as long as you have it here, you can come back and just remove and add. Now if you can see here, all the shapes that you draw with a pen, they come out with their own layer. So when I start drawing, there you saw there's a new shape layer now. But whereas if you were just drawing with your pen tool but with just the path, you need to assign it a layer. It can't just draw. You can actually just draw and then assign a layer for it later as well. So now we have a new layer, and that's the one that's selected. If you make this selection and if you start painting on it, it's in that new layer. Ctrl D and it's deselected. Here, this is all of your layers. This is your layer panel. And if you come here and you see this little eye button, if you unclick that, you will see that the layer vanished. This eye button is here to indicate the visibility. So click on that and it'll vanish and hide. Also, layer order is sometimes important. Let's say I want to bring this shape down here before in front of this gray shape that I have. So just drag it, you just press on it, you drag it, and you put it on top, and now you can see that it's come in front of the gray shape that I've created. Also, this is all done by the move tool, the little tool up here, right up here in the front on the top, and you can also get it by pressing V in your keyboard, that is the shortcut for it. And that's how you go and select each of these individual shapes, or you can even select a group or just one shape, and then you can just move it around and drop it somewhere, wherever you want in your canvas. Okay, so now there's two more tools that I want to talk to you about, which is going to be very handy. And that is the little tool here. It's called the direct selection tool, and there's also path selection. We'll start with the path selection tool first. What the path selection tool will do is it will select the whole path. Then you can take it and drop it. It's just almost like the move tool. However, move tool is for anything that you put here, whereas the path selection tool is just for these paths that you draw with the pen tool. So you can switch between the two tools. If you can see, it just changes color slightly. There's the white one and then there's the black one. So now I'll talk about this white one. I'll just zoom in a bit here for it. And what the direct selection tool is, now when I press on this shape, I can see how many anchor points that I have. Let's say I want to just manipulate one of these anchor points instead of the whole thing. So this is what the direct selection tool comes in handy for. I just click on it and I will change it. There you go. I can change it however I want. I can select if I want only that anchor point. If I want to change this one, there you go. I can come up here and just select and manipulate that one alone. Same as these. If you want to select a couple of them, let's say I want this whole selection, you can just drag the box like this. And there we go. Now you can see it's filled in with blue. That means it's selected. I have selected all three of these anchor points. So now I can move all three of them together. Those three won't change, but the rest that are next to it will change according to where I'm taking this. So these are the main tools that we'll be using most frequently in Photoshop to do our little chibi drawings. There's a few more tools that we need, but I'll explain those to you as we go. But for now, you know the basics. So in our next episode, we'll go and start drawing our little chibi character. Thanks to all of you for joining with me in my beginner's guide to Photoshop video so that we can start drawing our chibi characters. Please let me know if there's anything about the drawings or about the little animations that I do that you want to know in particular, and I'll come back to you with answers. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you very soon in my next video. Drawing my chibi. Our chibi. Whoever's chibi. Whose chibi is it? Blah, blah, blah. So in our next episode, that's gonna be loud. Oh, my tummy. Shush, shush now. Duh. Have fun.